All right. Oh God. Alrighty. Alright, what's up everybody? Just gonna give everybody just a second here to hop on. Sorry, I was running late with the eating thing. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tag everybody really quickly. What's up, Robert? How'd you do today, Robert? Did you finish the day pretty strong? Juan, yes. mRNA is very much looking pretty spicy. I dig it. Yeah, it was okay. Did you catch AMD or UPS with us? What's up? Good evening, Tommy. All right, a few more minutes here. We'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, we're gonna chart cues as always. Alright, what's up? What's up? Good evening, everybody coming in. Oh, you know what? I also need to hop on the Discord because I think Atlas and Georgie may hop on here, so. Alright. Gonna go ahead and hop in there. Alright, just in case they get on. Alrighty guys, just a few minutes here and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Juan, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that, man. I'm glad you can learn something here. Sorry, I just always want to give everybody just about 5-10 minutes as soon as I get started. Sometimes it takes a minute for YouTube to let everybody know that I'm on, so I just want to make sure. But we're going to get started here just 1 second. Alrighty, guys. So pretty exciting day. If you guys were on our Discord today after hours, we went over the pretty much the entirety of the major earnings that came in. A few disappointments for sure, and we're gonna take we'll recap over those before we move forward. But let's see here. Make sure I drop this. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't tag everyone there. Sorry, guys. So yeah, we had Facebook, we had PayPal, and a lot of these made some pretty hefty moves to the downside. So we're gonna take a look at the charts on those as well. So, alrighty, so Qs and small caps rallied today, while the Dow and the S&P kind of pulled back, lagging. Energy was the strongest sector, and I believe that had a lot to do with some of the infrastructure bill that gained 0.91%. XLC was one of the second biggest gainers, plus 0.78%, excuse me, despite COVID concerns. The Federal Reserve opted to keep rates unchanged. However, the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, claimed the U.S. economy was strengthening, a sign that the central bank would begin to dial back low interest rates. We talked about this forever. Chinese stocks stopped bleeding after 3 days of punishment. Baba rebounded 5.35%, and Baidu blasted up around 5.7%. These names have seen worse. Well, we'll have to take a look at this tomorrow or tonight and see if we get continuation to the ups or the downside, because that could have been just a relief bounce. You can see that buyers are still present in these Chinese stocks, and they are at critical lows. So it'd be nice to see some of the Chinese FUD dissipate. So AMD ascended, if you guys caught that one, 300+% on the runners that we entered. I think my last contracts were 356%. So those were amazing play. And as you can see here on my wall, we had two written down. I added AMD, but UPS puts were another really good play that we took today besides AMD. But anyway, AMD ascended about 7.58%, hitting all-time highs intraday after reporting strong earnings. The semiconductor closed just shy of $98. Maybe we'll see some continuation finally from this damn stock. Yeah, I will take a look at Facebook for sure. That one had a little roughness. I do think it's a bounce, and I'm not sure if Atlas is going to be on. Let me DM here real quick. Oh, wrong chat. One second, let me see if Atlas is. Sushi, are you literally in the sea right now? How are you listening to this? Are you on? You're not on. Sushi's like underwater right now. That's a member in our group's name. How far will Tilray go? How far will Tilray go? As far as market makers let it. Strong earnings and still a federal illegal market is still a good reason for people to keep it down, but we'll see how it goes. So all right, so we have FLGC was one of the top movers today, 63%. I signaled this one in the chat on the 26th, around $3. I've been holding. I never signaled to cut. I'm still holding about 50% of that. That went a little farther than I thought, hitting $10 today, where I ended up TPing. I actually didn't signal it either because I didn't see it as it was in my long-term account until I got an alert. So it was pretty sick. But anyway, MANH, another big mover today, 7.5, and SPRT up 29.6%. Closing prices on our major ETFs. We have the S&P pretty much closing flat with just down a single a point of a zero. I just brain farted right there. 0.01%. Literally just flat as a pancake. And I'll pull this over here. So you see SPY pretty much staying in range, but not looking terrible, guys. We might see might see something from SPY. We'll see how the rest of the week goes. QQQ, as we talked about, that one up 1.51%. The up 0.70%, where the Russell was up 1.51%, roaring today. The Dow Jones down about 0.36%. So we pull those up. Oof, Dow. The Dow. Yeah, and I think last night we talked about a potential retest, but this one actually fell back into this zone here. So I suspect, I would like to see the gap. Actually, the gap got filled today. So usually when gaps get filled and you don't see it rejects that zone, normally you're going to see a pullback. So I suspect that we'll probably fill this gap here on the Dow. But anyway, besides the ETFs, Shopify. So Shopify's earnings blew analyst estimates, and revenue exceeded $1 billion for the first time ever. EPS, earnings per share, was $2.24 versus the 97 cents per share estimate. Sick. Revenue $1.12 billion, up 57% year over year. Shopify dropped 1.1% in after hours. PayPal plummeted 5.6%. We watched this one live as it was speared right in the heart following the company's Q2 earnings report. Venmo's payment volume, though, on the other hand, increased 58% to 58 billion in the quarter. Not the worst earnings ever, but also to keep in mind, PayPal is up 30% year to date. So a lot of the times these things get priced in. But earnings per share was $1.15 versus the $1.12 estimate. Revenue was $6.24 billion and up 19% year over year. So not terrible. There was a couple details we went over in after hours that could make this one a good dip buy. Atlas will dig into that more. If he's not on tonight, more than likely tomorrow. Facebook surpassed expectations, but forecasted future growth would slow substantially. And Georgie brought up a really good point. We'll talk about that here in just a second. So EPS, earnings per share, that one was $3.61 versus the $3.03 estimate. Revenue $29 billion, up 56% year over year. And they pulled back. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they let's take a look at the. So that was what I found unusual. Is there's some of those, some people call them like market maker wicks, but you have these big wicks popping up here multiple times, turning right into skeletons. I'm curious to see if, and this is the point that Georgie brought up. You're seeing a huge amount of growth in stocks like Snap and Pinterest, and that means that the audience is turning elsewhere, right? And they're shifting, and I think that you're seeing that via earnings. So, and on top of that, public sentiment for Facebook has grown darker and darker with celebrities bashing them. I mean, honestly, they've become more than just a. I mean, I think they'll be integrated into our life somehow. But the social sentiment of having a Facebook profile has dropped for sure. So, crypto? I don't do crypto. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. But anyway, yeah. So Facebook, pulling back here over our after hours, settling at 360. Pfizer as well reported earnings today, flexing its immunity to the market. The company shares rose as pharma turned COVID vax producer raised its 2021 sales vaccine sale forecast to 33.5 billion. That's a 28.8% boost in the forecast. The COVID vaccine has literally become a shot in the arm for the recovering economy. However, with a rise of new COVID variants, many question whether the third vaccine dose might be required to avoid a COVID resurgence. Although that, Pfizer picked up about 3.2%. Pfizer pretty much shared the good news about its RSV vaccine and reported increased growth in rare disease hospital and oncology internal medicine segments. So, let's see here. Those of you who trade crypto, though, since someone called me a, I don't know what that means. What does KWEB mean? Does anyone want to enlighten me? Yeah, I got Zoom. Sam, brother, I every night I try to make sure that I go over the news and do the whole schedule thing, man. I'll definitely get to your request if you want to hang out or even just pause the video and then wait for me to get through the rest of this. I will chart Facebook for you for sure, man, and Zoom. Yes, I will get Zoom. I usually do that toward the end, right after I get done going over the news and everything like that. So, anyway, so let's see here. I think I'm actually pretty much good on the news here. I guess people are pretty amped up about Bitcoin right now, sitting around the 40,000 mark. I'm gonna have to go check on that right now. Yeah, so we're gonna go take a peek here. Yeah, of course, no problem, Sam. So we're gonna take a peek here at. You guys can see this screen, right? Is this the right one? Let me go to double check. Yeah, okay, that's the right screen. Okay, so let's go take a peek at tomorrow's earnings calendar. Overstock, Amazon, Nokia, Gilead, that's a big one. Twilio, Pens, X, Watt, First Solar, MasterCard. How many are reporting? 317. Oh my God. MicroStrategy, Comcast, Team, Upwork. Oh my God. We got a whole ass of them. So excuse me. God, we got a lot. Rack Technologies, that's one I watch here and there. Carrier, Hershey's. Yeah, so we got big earnings, guys. 317 companies reporting altogether, nearly, I think, right around 400 in between Thursday and Friday. What is next week looking like? So next week, Ava, Nikola, fuck you, Nick. Excuse me. Nikola's hilarious. ATVI, Under Armour, CRSR. I was just had a one-on-one with somebody today. Listen, that stock is extremely undervalued. As a long-term hold, I'm gonna start accumulating more and more. I think we might be able to get it cheaper, but they do have earnings next Tuesday, so I don't know. I'm starting to think I might grab something to protect my downside and start accumulating shares, because I have a feeling that with the gaming surge that we've seen, that CSR is it's gonna be sick. Yeah, I see it, man. Just trying. I don't want to interrupt, man. You know, like a thing I'm doing. You know. Sorry guys, I was just if you guys don't mind, try not to cloud up the YouTube chat too much. I want to be able to make sure that I'm not missing any questions regarding the chat, so or regarding the what I'm going over right now. So all right, so anyway, that's pretty much it as far as the news. I don't know if anybody saw Kanye West's apartment. That was pretty cool. That man lives in a whole prison cell looking apartment right now. I don't know why that just came up on my news feed. Ridiculous. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get to. We're gonna recap here today, and then also go into what we could possibly see tomorrow from the very same stocks that we played today. So right off the bat, I'm actually going to start with our red trade. So I was able to get out of this trade relatively quickly, but it did end up being quite the pain in the ass. I was able to get out of the trade before it turned over, but this one right here, Roku. Roku. So anyway, this morning, big dip. Big pullback this morning. We had a spike up above my level that I was watching, and then it's funny because it actually hit my first target. My first target was this low over here, and that's exactly like right around that zone is exactly where we rejected twice, because right here we rejected pretty much the same 475 level that I was aiming for as a first initial target, and that's one of the reasons I was able to identify the reversal and get out. A lot of people use pivot points. I have them up right here. I was showing somebody in a one-on-one, but it's good that I do, because you can see the pivot point here is where we're kind of consolidating around. And one of the reasons why I still have my eyes on Roku, and let me clean this up so you guys get a better idea of what I'm talking about here. So what I like about Roku here is we do have a relatively strong support. This does look kind of bear flaggy, retesting the same very same level that we tried to break out, and also tried to or broke down into. I have a speculative pattern here since we did bounce off support, and we are currently holding this level here with what appears to be kind of an ugly bull flag here. I do imagine that around 475, 471, 475 tomorrow, with proper volume, guys. Volume is still higher than average, and that's always important when you're looking at whether or not a stock is going to make the move that you want it to make. And that's one of the things that caused me to decide to back out of this trade, but it's not off my watch list because it still has decent momentum behind it. It did roar out of that broken downtrend, and obviously this was a play that we caught when that happened, but this is also one that I think whether or not it has an inside day here, I do think that it could potentially go and retest the 480 or 485 level, and I'll be evaluating volume and of course watching correlating ETFs. UPS, beautiful play. This one was super sick. Let's see here, where are we? Yeah, so this one today, I figured that it would be really simple, that we would likely just go and retest the very same low that we made initially with earnings. And we did. We pulled back really heavy with earnings. And so looking at the chart, or looking back, I think this play, we executed this perfectly. I had a level set here, I think since I've deleted it. So this level here where we actually held up on, I wanted to see that level get broken. So when that level got broken, took it to the downside for, well over 100% play. And that one was sweet. Yeah, Queeb. I will, if you want to hop on there, I'll write it on the list. Okay. Why does that thing have like my face? That's weird. Anyway, UPS, nice return to the bottom. One of the reasons why I'm still eyeballing UPS, it has a very large gap above it. I don't like that. But that could get filled later. Technically here on the on the daily, it has a double top. And it also has a big ass gap below it. Right there at 189.50, I'm going to be looking to short this thing when it has a $10 gap. Now, what I'll do is usually I like to use lower time frame moving averages as a way to, as like a certain like liquid support, or if you will. So like here on the daily, I can see that there is a 181 or 182. So I'm not going to be greedy and just try and like snag that entire gap. And this could take multiple days. It's not. It could take like a week for this to actually work through this gap. But regardless, I believe that this is all-time highs. That's right. So UPS is above all-time highs. Are hit all-time highs. So there really isn't any levels here because UPS just gapped up. And we're heading that way, so I'm looking to make sure that I take this gap. I have an ass of alerts right here at that 189.50 level, and of course, if I see the momentum that I like tomorrow, as I'm watching the lower time frame, anywhere around 190.40, I may end up taking this and start a position there. And this obviously depends on the sentiment of the correlating market. So. Let's see here. So UPS was sick. Watching that one tomorrow. Again, the gap fill, I don't dig it, but it could happen. I don't see how it could happen, but it could. But I do think AMD will eventually climb back up and fill that gap. That'll be a goal that we'll end up trying to take to the upside maybe next year. Who knows? Again, AMD. AMD was a beautiful trade today. I think one of the things that originally drawed my attention to AMD was the fact that it had the most ridiculous bounce off of my 80. I actually got an alert on AMD that it had hit that level, and I thought, oh, this thing's gonna get shorted. Then I looked at the volume, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, no way. Especially after earnings, it was just seemed like a big fake out. Anyway, even if you caught this at that breakout level of 93.85. The volume here is exactly what you want to reflect on when you're looking at this trade, because AMD, and those of you who have PTSD on AMD, you guys know. Wait.
You'll get it.
Yeah, I know. I see that. Why is?
Okay.
Wait, is it not?
It's not. No, there's no chart.
Oh, it's earnings. I see that. I have
Yep.
2 browsers up. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Stupid. I was looking at AMD on the other chart. Sorry about that, guys. No, embarrassed. No, just kidding. All right, so let me fix this chart now. All right, so UPS, real quick, just to show you guys what I was talking about. Big gap right here, just in case you missed that. Those of you on the Discord, you guys can see it, so you guys don't have to get tortured. So that's the gap I'm trying to fill here on UPS. Again, whole ribbon indicator showing me momentum shift as well. So the gap is what worries me, but I think that it's more likely than not that we'll fill this gap first before we fill anything else. So anyway, AMD, reflecting back on the trade, it's pretty cool because if you look at the hourly, bounced off of that 20 EMA. That's exactly where we wicked down to. But if you go to look at the 15-minute here, one of the reasons, again, I had this alert go off right here at this white line where we bounced off of. And this is the same line that I laid down, I think about 3 or 4 days ago. So we bounced right off of that line. And then even if you caught this at this breakout level, right? So at pre-market highs, it still made for a really great trade. But that first initial rebound and volume, and that's what I was trying to emphasize and try to emphasize to any and everybody that I talk to in one-on-ones or just period, is volume is number one, period, end of day. And that's why if you have a scanner, it's good to have an unusual volume scanner, one that shows you when abnormal volume spikes happen, because that a lot of times can give you a heads up on where momentum is shifting. Again, look at historically what kind of volume it takes to move AMD, and then go look at the chart and go do that for anybody, any company. You want to evaluate the volume and make sure that it has what it, and you can think of it as, like gunpowder, or like maybe that's not a good example. Throwing power, for like a baseball player. The more throwing power, the further the ball's gonna go. And if you got in the stocks case, the further, the more volume, the further it can go. Of course, $100 and the 99 to 98 to $100 range is a tough range for AMD that we've already gotten slapped at multiple times. So we're gonna want to see this volume and continuation here. So anyway, that was a great trade. I ended the day around 360 something percent. I swung a few runners to see what it does. So and I think today was a good example of, if you have a plan and two of them are working and two of them aren't, cut them. Don't fiddle around with something that doesn't have your prerequisite met in your trading plan. Just fiddle with something that meets your prerequisites. And AMD and UPS were both ones that I was able to cut. The other, cut the fat and focus on what exactly what I liked, and that's what I liked. So could you teach class on Facebook price action? I don't know if that exists. Let's see. What'd you say? You're in UPS? Downside or upside? Well, it's after earnings. It's going to be extremely high volume. Every earnings is like that. But I'm curious to see if that we're too close to that gap. So one more down tick. You think we go test 195? Hold on 1 second. I could see one more spike up tomorrow to I can see 195, but I have 194.15 as a good mark. I see that the EMA though, 200-day EMA right here is at 194.85. So I mean, I could anticipate some type of triangle forming here, but it's obviously a really tough level to break through. Analyst ratings aren't helping either, so. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, other than that, if you guys did catch Tilray today, we talked about that one. It was moving in pre-market. This one, I am anticipating the potential for a reversal. This may happen tomorrow. It may extend the wedge, and this happens quite often. You read about wedges if you have a chance. A lot of times it's very easy to extend a wedge in order to frustrate traders who think they've caught a break. And so I'm always aware, and I always have multiple different targets. I did notice that a big put order flow for Tilray came in. I guess it's not on here. Right now we have Tilray $100 calls for 120.23. Insanity. What do they think is going to happen here? I guess those someone ditched those puts. I did see them on I have multiple different flow services, but I did see puts. Those could be a hedge. So I am curious to see if we get just a little profit taking pullback. I don't think any more than 15.25, but again, it's still federally illegal, unfortunately. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay. Look at the AMD put flow was wild, 19 million in premium. That's because that's how it be. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, John. Hey, again, guys, no offense. If those of you talking in the YouTube chat, if you could keep it kind of focused in on requests, questions, and stuff like that. Feel free to talk amongst yourself in Discord or on another platform. Not being rude, but it's really hard for me to decipher, and I want to be able to look there quickly and see and answer people's questions. So I appreciate that. Anyway, so going into tomorrow, of course, these stocks are on my watch list. Facebook, let's see here. Yeah, so I imagine that we're going to see good old Facebook moving. Wow, look at this mark off my whole. That's why I love the whole ribbon indicator. Look at this. It's the exact mark. Thank you, ribbon. So that's obviously a relatively, and that's the 354 level. That's also a previous level here. So I imagine that you're going to go back and at least, whether it's sideways or it's just a pullback, you're going to probably see 345. That's where I have my daily support here, running here. And you just have an absolute deadpan. I don't know if you're going to be able to see Facebook make a new high after something like this. But it's going to be pretty pivotal or pretty important to see how it opens up tomorrow. But I would suspect that even with revenue growth as is, when you're basically telling people that next quarter is not going to be as great, you're giving investors a reason to take profit in a way. And I think that seeing Facebook at the level that it is, I'm sure profit taking has occurred. But look at that level. I mean, 375, you're not breaking that. And then plus, like I said, with earnings, there's plenty of room to pull back there to 345. So that would be my level there. Anywhere below 354, and then you're really gonna spill. So 354, 35. Thanks, BJ. Yeah, man. I don't really not bothered by that kind of stuff. Thank you though. I appreciate it. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to look through there and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so let's go over SPY, all these boys. So SPY, tomorrow, just to keep it simple. So I'm anticipating that there could be a potential pullback tomorrow. I was looking at this today and I was watching. I was like, maybe this is could be a speculative resistance here. So if that's true, I'd like to see it around 439.85 for a wick fill back up to 440. Today, I don't know if you guys caught my bounce on SPY, but I thought we might go hit 441. We were about 60 cents away from that mark. But I don't know if anybody else sees a head and shoulders. So if we pull back, there's a potential that we have a little head and shoulders form here. 437.34. I'd actually say, the break of 437. And this could end up being that head and shoulders. It's SPY, so this could end up just kind of consolidating here, dropping back down, and then bouncing out. We'll pay close attention to that as it comes, but real quick, let's go back up. So one of the things that we talked about, and looking out here on the daily too, let's take a look at flow. Am I on the right chart? Please say I'm on the right chart. Is Facebook up? Yeah, sorry about that. So let's take a look at SPY. Sorry about that. So looking at SPY, I gotta get these screens fixed here. 1 second. Yeah, I'm just gonna delete this. Get rid of your tabs, dude. Anyway, SPY right here, guys, running off of this high. This is that consolidation pattern, but if you go and look on the hourly, has almost that little head and shoulders look. But of course, we had not the worst news coming from Powell. So with that being said, there's definitely a chance for more continuation to the upside. If you look at the daily as well, we're still riding that whole ribbon indicator. So two wicks here, relatively high volume. As much as I want to be bullish, the one thing that I did see over the last 2 days is that our HMA, which historically when the HMA climbs above the stock, it usually starts to either consolidate or get forced down. So we're definitely going to want to see earnings hopefully propel SPY up, and we can have at least a retest day around 441.50. If not, I'm feeling kind of bearish here, seeing a little bit of a lack of strength, but maybe I'm being biased. So 440.45 is where I'll be watching SPY to the upside. So alrighty, so SPY, let's go look at the Qs. Kind of a similar setup here. I think we talked about this last night, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so perfect consolidation here in this little zone. Tons of wicks either side. Really high volume. This looks like earnings. And the same thing with SPY here. Really cuddled up with our resistance. Definitely in need of a pop. Hopefully that earnings will give us that. Maybe even pre-market earnings. I haven't siphoned through to see who is. Let's see here. I'm curious. I just saw that Space has earnings next Thursday. I'm curious to see if Space will fill its gap to 21 next week. And maybe I should take puts. Who knows? I don't play earnings though. So tomorrow, let's go look before the bell. I was just going to see if there's any companies that stand out. Overstock. Oshkosh. Yeah, so I mean, nothing crazy here in the AM, but yeah, I mean, I'd definitely like to see. We have decent volume over the last 2 days, but I would say a decent level using my whole ribbon indicator is going to be 366.75, and that's also where you can see this level 367.15. That'll be right above that. So we have a lot ahead of us for the Qs, and we're going to need some positive sentiment in order to continue to the upside. I also talked to you guys about this major support that Qs have been holding here for quite some time, and how we held on to that support. And now, if you look at the daily, it almost looks like we're making a bit of a bear flag. So this is also what the start of a correction kind of looks like. Corrections usually are kind of jolty, where you get that leg down, a little bit of chop here. The bit bounces usually are relatively strong, and then you get your next leg down. So I think it's going to be pretty critical to set alerts. Make sure that you have those set, that you're not missing any type of movement, especially on your correlating ETFs. And again, earnings is going to have a lot to do with what happens here in the next couple of weeks, and we still are pretty loaded up to the gills. What? I just upgraded. What the hell? All right. Well, I don't know what that's about, but anyway, it's done this done this to me twice today. All right. So we have the Qs. Let's see here. Also, guys, we are partnered with TradingView. So if you sign up for TradingView, or you're thinking about paying for TradingView, make sure to do it so that you get a little bit of a discount as well. Partners. Okay, so Qs, IWM, of course you guys saw pennies moving pretty sweet. Man, we were on the money, weren't we? So we talked about the reversal pattern forming on IWM. This one actually did pop up, and then it did it again. It made almost another little tiny reversal pattern here, and has now run up. This one, big volume up towards this level, and not so much of a rejection. So we haven't really gotten that crucial rejection, but if you go down here to the 15-minute, you do see what looks to be a relatively stiff rejection. So there could be some pullbacks here on small cap stocks as of tomorrow. Hopefully that doesn't mean some of our favorites like Wish, but looking at these time frames and looking at the similar setups that we have, you can see here that these rejections kind of resemble each other. So hopefully we see continuation or at least a gap up tomorrow, and that would give us a chance for well, actually I wouldn't even want a gap up. I'd likely want some type of open flat above this level for a continued leg up. But anyway, so IWM, the Dow. So Dow right here, we talked about this zone. It's pretty simple. Again, keep it simple. I got it. So 34 or 348.50. 348.50 is where the Dow could and more than likely will move to the downside. There is a gap to fill on the Dow starting at 346.50 and then moving all the way to 346 flat. So do keep an eye on that gap fill, and if we do end up getting a pullback, guys, we have a pretty gnarly head and shoulders here on the Dow. So watch for industrials to potentially get a pullback tomorrow. At least that's my thoughts on it anyway. That looks like a pretty obvious little tiny 15-minute reversal pattern. So you do have the gap. And again, I reiterated this multiple times. And for those of you who are new to trading or are learning to gap trade, if a gap gets filled in pre-market and rejects, that's likely a sign for continuation to the downside. Any shorts that I used to perform on Baidu used to be the same concept there, as it would fill that pre-market gap, and then if it did, I would more than likely take it to the downside. And you can see that if you did do that recently on Baidu, you know, you could end up getting burned because the first initial leg down here, and you bounce, and you pretty much, you don't even go and fill your gap, but you just flirt around with it. So you couldn't even take calls or puts, just pretty much sitting flat every time it opens up. But we have used this strategy for quite often to take Baidu and Baba short. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, so this was the Baba play, I think, on the 26th. So if you see this wick, check this wick out here. This wick right here went and filled this gap in pre-market. And so right when the market opened, I took Baba short. We had a little retest of the very same level that we broke, and then we continued to the downside to hit that 190-150 level. Amazon, I can check out Amazon, but if you guys want to hit this right here, that way I can actually take a look at your charts. All right, so I think we had mRNA and DKNG as some of the first ones there. Let's go take a look at them. So I actually already see that mRNA pre-market already looking pretty good. Look at that pre-market movement. A little pop above that HMA level there. Gonna go retest 350, 59, 360 level here. So taking a look at the daily, yes, looks pretty good. We actually talked about this this morning or this afternoon. This one setting up almost that nice little bull flag. Let's go pull up. I need my 9-day moving average. Why is that not on there? There we go. So mRNA as well looks like moving off of our 9-day moving average. So it's going to be pretty simple here, guys. We're going to need to see that wick fill there. I would like to see a little bit more volume on mRNA in order to see continuation. There is the possibility for a double top here. You have a really low volume. Really low volume. So even though it looks good, it needs to be good, and it needs to break and push and fill that wick all the way to 361.71, and it's gonna need volume to do it, and that's what it's lacking at the moment. So I will say though, I guess in looking back in retrospect, it had a slightly above average volume, but not great. Anyway, how do I like pay safe? We've played pay safe. I'd have to get maybe Atlas's or Georgie's opinion on that one. Oh no, why is my screen not? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Never mind. All right, sorry guys. I've got messages coming out the wazoo right now. Okay. Moderna, we got DK and G. So I talked about DK and G here, and we're gonna clean this chart up, guys. Lower time frame analysis looks ugly on the higher time frame. So shake off the FUD should be the title of this of DK and G's story. Hindenburg hitting him where it hurts. That's where we ended up getting this bounce and breakdown. This was actually, it did actually break down, but it hit that supply zone here and it bounced off really nicely, recovering back in here and climbing right back above this resistance. Now, a lot of the times when we get a breakout, we'll get a retest. This breakout happened on not that great volume. And so I'm feeling like there could be people anticipating a run with DK&G. And I will say that one thing that we observed today was that Las Vegas I just typed in flow, what a dingus. DK&G had $51 calls. Those came in at 10 a.m. And I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the chart, but they could have already taken profit. More than likely have taken profit on those for sure. So let's see here. DK&G, I'm looking for long dated calls. So you see $46 calls for Las Vegas Sands, mostly long dated for Las Vegas, not so much for DK&G, even though they're in the same sector. Quiver, what's up, dude? I have your, look at, is he still in there, or is he gone? I don't know, but if he's not gone, it's right there. You guys need to make sure you have Quiver quantitative. Oh, I can't do it because I literally am sharing. I have green screen up. But anyway, make sure you guys download or use Quiver. It's a good site. He just joined our live or my live. Anyway, so DraftKings here does have room to bounce. Could start pushing up and in anticipation for earnings. Maybe somebody knows something. HMA. Moving average is still relatively far behind. The whole ribbon indicator is showing a shift in momentum. You're also, like I said, you see the 9-day moving average, you see that whole ribbon indicator, both of those crossing over each other, as well as, and if you zoom in here, and I don't know why I haven't changed this. Let's do some editing here. There we go. That's a little bit better. So my 200-day EMA. And if your lines are too thick, guys, pull up your data window. Your data window is going to tell you the exact price. So right now my 200-day EMA is at 49.66. I would like to see, and you can set an alert on this, the 9-day moving average, which is currently fluctuating around 47.82, cross over that 200-day EMA for a completion of the EMA crossover. That's going to require volume. That's going to require continuation. I don't like low volume setups, so me personally, I would hang out on the sidelines. Higher volume for DK&G looks like 88 million, where in today we had about 9. Even on some of our less parabolic days, we see DK&G volume upwards to around 30 million. So that's something to take into account, is that you're dealing with very, very low volume. So if anybody's pumping DK&G, it could very well be retail. So anyway, hopefully that's what's your, oh, no, not that one. What you're looking for there. So could IPO where we're buying the launch right in the way with our mouse posed to the sell button if thing goes south? Yes. Shareholder meeting tomorrow on AMC. Yeah, no problem, Sam. Sorry, just looking at your messages here, making sure I'm not missing anything. Yes, they could call a split. Everybody's anticipating a split. You know, hold on one second, guys. This is where I'm at right here. If you guys want to find me. Sorry, one second, guys. Sound like somebody just hit their car. Okay, sorry about that. So looks like we have DK and G. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm just reading your guys' comments, making sure. There was a lot of kind of noise here, so my ADHD. Zoom, Queb. Oh, Key. Oh, I thought that was KeyWeb. Okay, cool. I thought that was like some type of cute speech or something. You know how people were doing like the RARs and weird shit. Like, sorry. Anyway, okay, QQQ got that one, got mRNA, got DK and G, looking at BA. All right, go take a look at BA. If you guys have any requests, make sure to hop on here. How's it going? I just hopped on. All right, let's look at BA on the daily. Yikes. I want to say that Boeing ended pretty bullishly. It looks like a flag, smells like a flag. But I've seen Boeing eat ass. This thing can really suck to trade when it has these technical setups. We traded it today, and I know some of you held, and then ended up being able to. But like at first, that thing was a total pain in the ass. Yeah, just crazy. Anyway, pretty much pure consolidation today, building a flag or continuing a flag that was built in pre-market, and heavy consolidation here. If you look at the hourly, you do have a major break and downtrend here. Pulling this back over, ignore this as a speculative line. But this right here, decent break and downtrend right here. Massive EMA crossovers happening. So I forget what the news. They had earnings, and I think that was one of the things that propelled them to the upside. But remember that it has a gap on the daily, and the Dow looks like it's going to go down, right? So if the Dow looks like it's going to go down, then more than likely, and if the Dow goes and fills its gap, that's even more reason to be careful when playing Boeing to the upside. So, yeah. I would be careful to and just watch your entry. So, yeah, high volume is going to be the first and only prerequisite. I mean, really high volume is going to be what you're looking for. So, anyway, so let's look at what else do we got, guys. If you had a request up earlier in the chat, if you wouldn't mind maybe posting it again, and if I haven't gone over it. Zoom. All right, so let's look at Zoom. Ooh, maybe a cup and handle. That's 5 minute. Nope, maybe that's actually a real cup and handle. Okay, so you got a decent rounded bottom here. Kind of ugly with it, but rounded bottom nonetheless. I am not 100% sure, but I am pretty sure that this thing has a rising megaphone. Now, let me pull up, if I can pull up a picture. Let me pull up a picture for you guys. So you have a broadening, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, sorry guys. I don't know why that's taking so damn long. Alright, well for some reason, I'm not getting, these pictures aren't loading. Anyway, it has a bit of a channel nonetheless, if you just want to call it a channel. Zoom has been trading in this channel. It is losing volume, and you don't have enough delta variant. It's still a speculative thing now where people are unsure of whether or not it's really going to affect stuff. So I think that Zoom, when it first initially bounced, was amongst the kind of like speculative plays here. Looking at the way that we finished today, there's a lot of wicks, right? So we hit that 375 level, and then Zoom just pulled back. There was nothing doing here. And so in my opinion, I mean, I'd love to see, I would just, and this is where letting the trade come to you rules 371.80 on Zoom. And then of course right around the 375 374 level, but then right after that you have this channel. Honestly, Zoom's not looking that great, and it's just gonna need to see a break. But even if it did break the previous high, that previous high and wick fill would only leave you with just a little bit of room depending on where you end up running into, and then you have the immediate target of 378. You can see that consolidation and draw a line. So this is one of the more important things you should be doing. Yeah, so right there, look at that. So look at the wick. Very same. Oh, every level you break always gets retested. So as soon as that level gets tested, guys, it just absolutely pulls back super hard. Not super bullish. Same crazy good volume, but it's got to get out of this channel, and hopefully this plays out as like a cup and handle. And this is more of a rounded bottom. So let's look at the daily. Yeah, so you're curling up a little bit here, really above into the 380s. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not touching it. I touched it once, and it touched back. Sorry, that's not music. I'm fine. Trust me. Alrighty, so we kind of have Zoom here, whole ribbon indicator, It's not showing much strength. MACD looks like it wants it, but it needs more volume. It needs shitty news. It needs virus news, which I don't want to ever say that I hope that doesn't happen. You know, like I really hope it doesn't, regardless of what Zoom does. So. All right. Yeah, go ahead and type your request. All right, let's go ahead, and I see Aapl. That's a good one as always. So we talked about Aapl last night. Double top. At least that's what happened here. It does appear that momentum is shifting, not so much in our favor. Of course, today we saw a heavy, I mean, this is crazy movement right now. Crazy movement with holding up this downtrend here. So if you take a look here, buyers were aggressive on Aapl today, but sellers holding this down. Look at that. So tight up in that triangle there. Do watch this one. Even if you ran it there, it would make sense. So buyers are in and around this level big time. But overall, double top, rising wedge, reversal. This one was called 2 or 3 days ago. EMA crossover to the downside on the hourly. And again, whole ribbon indicator showing a shift to the downside. MACD finally turning red. I wouldn't fret as far as, like, you know, as long as the market can hold up. But I am seeing the 140 level, 140, 150. Yeah, 140, 175 relatively soon. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, chart requests, throw it in there. Waste management. I haven't traded that in a long time. Right here. There you go. All right, so we got Aapl. Set some levels on Aapl as far as where you could potentially enter and exit. You know, you have a reasonably strong level here. You also have this bounce level here at 142.50. So you've got a lot of bouncy places right underneath you. Definitely worth being very careful. So you've got 3 separate levels here. If you break 140, 173, you've got 140, like I said. Excuse me. Let's see, where does this resistance take us? But anyway, yeah, so I don't see Aapl reversing without some type of market catalyst to the upside. So I'd honestly, is so wicky and so so choppy that I would just stay away until you make a a real move to either side, because you could even see that this thing like pushes, right? It like pushes up 146. It could wick up, and you'll see a lot of times these patterns will push up and hit one of these major resistances and completely fake you out. It'll even fake you out either way, so it's important to be very careful. BA, hop in here and I'll chart it for you. In fact, actually, if you hop in there, I already charted it, so you don't even have to watch me. You can just go and rewind it. I said it like 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. I don't know. But anyway, with Aapl, just set some alerts. 146.25, if it was to make a recovery, would be where I would likely start paying close attention to it. So. Oh, stack. That sucks. Yeah, we'll have to watch. I guess you can only trade Robinhood IPO on Robinhood. Oh. All right. Let's hurry up here. All right, so we got EEM. EEM. Okay. Okay, so it looks to me, wow, what move? You'll have to school me on what this entails, but oh. All right, so if anything, above the 200, which is the $52 level, I would anticipate a move to around 52.45. That's if it takes about 3 days to do it. If it takes 2 days to do it, watch 52.81. If it does it tomorrow, watch 53. But more than likely, you'll see it's going to try and climb back above the 200. Because as you can see, there's an EMA crossover here to the downside and the whole ribbon indicator here to the downside. The only thing that is showing hope as far as is volume. So volume here stepping up and picking this thing back up and pushing it. So but double bottom off of the RSI with relatively high volume. So I imagine at least a retest of that support or that resistance. So Quiver, I did really good. I was gonna show you, dude. You're like, I'm showing people your shit, man, right now. Dude, look at it. On YouTube. I did good. I know you can't see my whiteboard back here, but we did AMD to the upside. Caught a little bit of the dip there, and then the run up, and then we did UPS puts. So over 300 and plus % play on AMD, and then 100 plus % on AMD. So really good. There's a couple randos too that I caught. So Roku burned me at first, but I was able to get out of that trade and keep it moving. That's what we do when we trade. We don't get emotional. All right, Mary. This one I'm gonna set alert, and if I see my alert go off, I'll ping you tomorrow. Okay. I'm sending alert at 52:50. Samir? Yeah. Jay, Roblox is a good one. We'll check that one out in a second. All right, AI, Robert, and Twitter. I just charted AI the other night, and we talked about the support bounce, right? And the whole ribbon indicator that we needed to close. Look, this is why I love the whole ribbon indicator. Yeah, AMD was good stuff, man. Yeah, man. I always appreciate you guys tuning in, dude. Appreciate you guys. So C3, and this is again why I love the whole ribbon indicator. Look at where it rejects. It's there, right? And if you look at the data window, you got the M hole and the S. I love saying that. The M hole and the S hole. So the M hole is at 50, and these are basically just SMAs, right? Or moving averages that build the ribbon. The color coding is just showing you, where that momentum is shifting, red, green. But right now we got a rejection there at that bottom whole ribbon indicator. It's gonna be really, really pivotal that we hold this level. We were in this channel, and so a retest of around 60.85 is highly likely, even if it's just $60 on the dot. That is also very likely for a retest of this, and this would make the third. Let me pull this down. Sorry about that. Yeah, so even better. That lines up right with that 50 EMA. So watch for a retest of the 50 EMA on the daily time frame, right around that 50 or that $60 mark, 58 25 is going to be a good level. The whole ribbon indicator is still showing that momentum a little bit, but not very strong. Volume is okay. You're well above average with the volume, but still not enough to really move it, but keep it consolidated. So you're going to want to see a break of around $60 and volume pick up. Hopefully news comes in, some type of catalyst. Usually when a stock is down at these levels, you buy when blood is in the streets, and really C3 is at what looks to be a relatively good level. So I mean, it's holding up. It's just waiting on the good news. September 29th. So you still have plenty of time. Could run up. If you guys have any requests, stock requests, right here, and I will chart them. I'm going to be shutting it down here soon, so if you guys have any requests, get them in. You guys on YouTube think I'm crazy. GRVI. No, I have not. I will do that, though, for sure, Jose. I don't think everybody's called me Lab. That's so cool. Alright, so we got Twitter. Alright, so Twitter here. Oh, we love the whole ribbon indicator. Oh my god. Look at this thing, man. This is why this stuff is money. I love the whole ribbon. So we reject the whole ribbon indicator today on the daily. Look at the hourly here. You did climb above the 200. You had a big spike in volume here, pushing right up to 70.71 before getting another rejection. I would say this is either a lazy cup and handle, and we hopefully go and break that whole ribbon indicator, because here's the trick with the whole ribbon. Just because it's thin doesn't mean it's going to reverse. Sometimes when it's thin, it's even easier to break, like a real ribbon. Way beyond that. Like, way beyond that, my guy. But is that why you came on here? That's so silly. Amazon, yeah, if you guys want to check that out right here, I will take your chart request. Just hop right here. So with Twitter, guys, this one, whole ribbon indicator, really thin. So think of it like a real ribbon, right? If it's thin and the momentum is not there, volume is not there, then it can just as easily climb back above it than it could to reverse. So as it's thinning, it can be a sign. But I will say that once this thing decides where it's going to go, historically on Twitter, when the whole ribbon indicator changes or you cross the ribbon indicator, it does its thing. So again, here you move up above the whole ribbon indicator and you literally rip into the moon. You go from $50 to all the way to $81 on Twitter. You cross the whole ribbon indicator here and you lose from 73 all the way to 57. Again, climb above the whole ribbon, you gain a nice chunk here, and same thing goes. So if this whole ribbon indicator ends up turning red, then I do suspect we would likely get a pullback. You can also start a trend line here, right here off this low, and you'll notice that we have been struggling to hold up. I got that wrong. There we go. So we've actually been struggling to hold any resemblance of a resistance or support. So right now, just in speculation, you could continue to melt up, but more than likely, and if you look at the volume today, the volume was kind of abnormal. But again, if this cup and handle plays out, and I would say a good confirmation would be 71, the break of $71, 71.15. And then you could potentially evaluate volume there and then watch for that 71.88 level, so, or 85 level. And again, Twitter needs help from the Qs, so it could be very well that this wick that we saw here, it was just and this bounce that we saw here was just a simple retest, and that Twitter is now going to start establishing a downtrend, because this is a pretty steep and high resistance here. So EVRM, so thirsty, man. This man's screen name is, wow, that's weird. What's a good stock to watch tomorrow? Past that, actually. EV, if you guys want me to check that out, just hop right here. I'm taking you guys' request. So I have, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. So Twitter, I would say it's kind of in that pivotal area where you're gonna want to see a strong pop in volume and a push around $72. Like I said, it's in this channel here, so it very well. It's in that position where you're gonna want to let the trade again come to you, because you don't want to chase this thing until it makes a definitive break. So if you make a definitive break around 71.35, it's totally probable that you see the 74 level, 74.50. If you don't, then more than likely we're gonna go retest support. So, all right. What else do you guys got for me? All right, so Twitter, AMC. All right, so AMC and then Amazon. All right, AMC here. It is 10:10. You know what? Let's start fresh. Chocolate rain. I don't know why that song's stuck in my head. Beautiful. No way. Yes way. Badass. All right. Well, you are in what appears to be anyway. And I'm just, let me go to the 4 hour here and clean this up. All right, so that's not groovy right there at all. That is what looks to be a classic Head and Shoulders. PRPO. Yes, please. If you would like me to chart that, I'll absolutely do so right here. PRPO, AMC. This one has what looks to be a 4 hour or basically a smaller, but a 200 day EMA rejecting Head and Shoulders. So you have the shoulder here, head here, and shoulder here. It's consolidated in the tip of this triangle with that 200-day EMA acting as a linear deviation. Linear deviation, it sounds complicated. It's not. It's just the line that divides a pattern or a channel in half by 50%. And that's about it. So you see that right here in the middle of this pattern, we have that standard deviation, linear deviation, whatever you want to call it. A standard deviation channel, is a channel, but linear deviation is that linear line that divides it in half. So, and again, I've said this before. For me, I like to see stocks accumulate above the linear deviation line with volume, or at least with good steady volume, where we're not seeing that so much on AMC. I will add that the whole ribbon indicator is below AMC, and it is making a concerted effort to hold on to support. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces. Normally at this point you're going to see a breakdown. So if AMC, now listen to this, if AMC does not break down in the next couple of days, by the end of the week or next week, then there is a high probability that AMC will reverse and start going up, which will mean that people who are taking out shorts on AMC are going to get bested by retail. It's not always, and also keep in mind, this is a two-sided game. Market makers will very easily send this thing up. I mean, they're positioned, trust me, they know what they're doing. So they're going to get out of this, one way or another. But even there are people in retail who are trying to short AMC. And so, you could end up seeing those shorts get squeezed out just on a smaller time frame. But you can see how well this pattern is holding up right now on AMC. Of course, with meme stocks, fundamentals and technicals can be a bit shaky, so anything can happen here. But that's my thoughts on AMC. AMC likely below 35, or even you could say just 33 in general, and this stock is probably going to go and revisit 25, 26 zone. So if it does actually use this downtrend, and you could potentially use this as an entry. So check this out. So you see this secondary line that I just drew here. So what you could do potentially is watch this one, AMC at $39.90, and then right there at that $40 mark, you're going to have this resistance at $41.88. If AMC hits $41.88, it's going to be against your daily downtrend. If it's against your daily downtrend, you're going to want to evaluate volume. If volume is there, then you want to look for the wick fill immediately to 45 or 46 bucks. Once the $46, and that's where you just keep checking volume. Is volume high enough to push past that level? Is the tape moving quick? Is the tape moving in your favor? Are there orders sitting above big orders, you know, that'll help continue to push it? And that's what we're looking for when we're watching AMC. Low volume today, which could be good in the sense that we're sitting on support with low volume. So that means whether that means sellers are not willing to take it lower or buyers are not being able to take it higher, it still gives us room either way. So just keep your entry simple, and yeah, don't be stupid. Keep it simple, stupid is what they say, I guess. Do you think UPS will bounce back? Eventually, yes. All right, so I'm trying to move as fast as I can because I don't want to waste your guys' time. SQ. All right, actually, sorry, I apologize. Amazon and then SQ. Amazon, SQ, Roblox, GRVI, ARK, sold skills in Roku today. Yikes. Good place to sell Roku, right in my face. VIAC, I got you on that, Anna. Hey, it's me. Hey, me. Yes, EVFM. Yeah, I got you. All right. AMC. Yeah. All right. Let me write these down so I don't have to keep switching screens. Chocolate rain. Stupid song. Shit, SQ. Oh my god, I've never wrote an S before. It's a G. Alright, what were the other ones? GRVI and Roblox. It's kind of provocative, my bad. Roblox. Yeah, I got Bitcoin for you. EVFMARK. All right. Ride. If anybody on TikTok wants me to chart their ticker, then you need to hop on here. Yeah, I already went over to UPS though. I do think once the gap gets filled, that there's a high probability that it does. All right. Okay, so that's good. All right. If you guys hop on the YouTube, just type this in the chat, and I'll chart it for you. But you need to type it there, or I'm not going to be able to get to it because there's no way for you. You're going to be able to see it. I don't think anybody's on right now, so I don't need to put my headphones on. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and let's knock these out, guys, so you guys can get to bed. Me too. Alright, so Amazon, same deal with Apple pretty much. Same zone gets rejected. Not always the line, but the zone. So you see the 37.50 zone here on Amazon. That's the very same zone that we held up, very same zone that we rejected today. We made a bear flag here on the 4-hour time frame after breaking our support. A lot of the time, bear flags are created by using the previous support and you'll notice the 45-degree angle of that support as a resistance normally when you break. So anytime you break a support, you're always going to get somewhat of a retest, or if you're a linear trader, you're gonna get a break of support and consolidation. So either way, kind of bear flaggy here. Watch the $3,600 level, but BUTT, Amazon has earnings. And if the shiny bald man tells us that he is going to split it, or if his other friends tell us that they're going to split it, sayonara, goodbye. I can't tell you where the hell this thing's going. There's no moon. Saturn's moons, likely. Otherwise, it's just a regular ass old earnings. So we're gonna play it accordingly. Well, we're not gonna have a position in it. That's for damn sure. The only thing that could be a probability here is this, right? So I'm using a lower time frame support. Okay. So this support range true. So it is true, right? And you can see that it holds that. But when you move this over, and that's one of the things with charts. That's why my level, right? It doesn't matter whether that's right or wrong. 3,600 still is a break. 3,600, and if you look at whether or not this is a real support or not, that's not usually what you would consider strength. And at the same time, those of you who have been trading with us, you know that there are patterns that are on lower time frames. Like if you go look at Aapl, right? Double top on the daily. But if you go look at the lower time frame, or even the 4-hour, you can see a very beautiful, perfect rising wedge right here. And we end up rejecting and moving to the downside. So for your breakout plays, are you entering the retrace on the higher time frame or lower? So it all depends. It's a great question. If you can fill before the break, right? If you know how your bounces work, you get 3 bounces off support, you're able to evaluate the volume on the bounce. Before you get to the breakout, you're going to use that breakout to add, and or not to add, but you're going to usually watch for the retest, and then you're going to add there. Once that retest occurs, if you get a good retest and the volume's strong, then usually you'll see continuation from there. If you guys have requests right here, type them in the chat and I'll get to them. I've got a handful left, and once I get done, I'm done. Okay, so Aapl, anyway, our Amazon, looking at the setup here, keep it simple. Alert at 3,600 and an alert at 3,650. Both of those, really, honestly, I would say 3,640. Watch Amazon around 3,640 to 3,650. And if this pattern, right, because I'm giving you, and one of the things I always want to do for you guys is if I'm unsure, and that's why I just showed you the chart this way, because I'm not sure whether or not this, which is correct because it's a lower time frame, and there is, look at the wicks. I mean, you have multiple wicks hitting this. It very well could be correct. It looks correct, but the angle of it is rather unusual. So one of the things that I do is just using symmetricals, or math, like using the this low and then running off of the angle of our bear flag. This could very well be true, and we could end up seeing a leg up and one last leg up, because you have 1, 2, and then what could be 3, which would be 36.85. So tomorrow, I'd say 36.90, right? Just to fake out the 370ers. You might see 3.7, but otherwise, yes, this is YouTube. So if you have any requests and you want me to look at a ticker, type it in the YouTube channel. I'm live right there. So let's see here, 3650. You guys got my mark there. Set your alarms, set your alerts. I actually am going to write this. I'm not even going to write it down. I'm going to put a gold star by it. AMD calls and UPS puts. Good job. So the watch list for tomorrow for me, I will watch Amazon, right? Because either way it could make for a pretty good play. I will watch UPS because either way there's gaps to both sides. And I will be watching AMD because AMD likes to dump, and I have a few calls that are over 300+% in profit. Yes. So anyway, still room to the downside. Not a ton of strength to the downside, and you do have relatively high volume. So anyway, Amazon looking kind of schmexy for some type of move here into earnings. So I meant the breakout is happening on the intraday lower time frame, 5 minute, but also on the higher time frame. Is the pullback you're waiting for on the 5 minute or the higher 4 hour? The 5 minute. Every night, Justin. Every night I answer your guys' questions. So, what indicators do I use the most? We're gonna be up late. So for the most part, as far as indicators that I like to use, it all depends on what I'm trying to get out of the market. If I'm swing trading, then I'm going to be wanting to pay attention to my larger or higher time frame moving averages, as well as my whole ribbon indicator. So if you notice here on Amazon, my whole ribbon indicator, and this is a momentum driven indicator, right? You can even see, look at the angle, look at these wicks. See how it uses it to blast off? This is a moving average as well as, it's like a living MACD. It's like a little wormy ass MACD. I love it. And one of the reasons why is because it won't shift until the momentum does. And as you notice here, that when the indicator thins, it gives me an idea when momentum has shifted. That's one of the reasons why I feel bearish like I do, because momentum is shifting. Now we are going into earnings, and as I just said, this very same ribbon, right? This very same ribbon right here could absolutely thin, and this is a personal indicator, right? So I'm just telling you how I use it. But when it's thin, it's still easy to break. Okay. Now, for a rule of thumb is 3 taps of resistance or 3 taps of support, and you're gonna get a break, right? So right now we have 2 taps off support, and we look like if we get a bounce tomorrow, that we will likely see a retest of 3,700, which would be the last test, which would likely be where we either end the day or we have either tapped. If we have tapped it there, then the probability of it going either way is there, right? Because it's finished. So if it rejects and goes down for a third bounce, it's the third bounce, it breaks down, and more than likely Amazon goes all the way back down to 3370. Not in one hit, but more. If you look at every single stock right now, they all look like this. They're well above the supports and resistances. So I see a bit of a correction coming if Amazon doesn't pull a hat trick here. So anyway, I'm trying to answer all of your questions. So if I'm scalping, I usually like to identify which moving average is going to be the strongest or the most respected. So on Roku, on the 15 minute, the 9-day moving average is when it's bullish and has plenty of volume. The 6-day moving average is one of my favorites for scalping. I also like to look for VWAP and 9-day moving average crossovers with volume, and that usually will give me a good indication. So it all depends on what I'm trying to get out of the market. If I'm swing trading, I'm looking at different indicators. Maybe I am looking at the RSI and the whole ribbon indicator in combination with my volume. And then if I'm scalping, I'm looking at a higher time frame, doing multiple time frame analysis, just like I would for anything, but I'm also using those moving averages that I see that are well respected. And what I mean by well respected is, and this takes research, right? You have to go do your own research, and you have to look at the stock, and you have to look at where, for me, and I actually discovered this in a one-on-one with somebody. I figured out that at the time that I was trading JMIA, that on the 2 hour, it was the best place to buy the dip. Why? Because check this out. Look at the 50-day EMA. 1, 2. You even buy back up here. 3, 4, 5. I mean, so it's literally within a breath. I mean, this is also a support level here, but you can see that the 50-day EMA is the backbone. Was the backbone until it shifted, and now look at it. You see this? Where is it? Where is JMIA retesting? The 50 EMA. is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love it. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what I kind of look for. I look for things that respect. So yeah, no problem. You guys ask the questions, I'm gonna tell you. All right, let's get back to tickers because I know you guys are about to punch me in the throat. All right, so let's see here. Yeah. All right, let's see. SQ. Did we already go over to SQ? I don't think we did. Did we? Maybe we didn't. Okay, so if we didn't, we will now. Because I talked about this last night where Square is holding a inverted cup and handle. And if you've never heard about that, that's totally okay. It's a weird ass pattern. But here we are right here with a downtrend right here. And then our uptrend here. So inverted cup and handle. And if you can't see that, I'll get rid of it. Why do I see this? And if you can't see it, here's a little trick. Okay, if you're learning, looky there. Now it looks a little bit more like a cup and handle, right? So it has that cup, the handle. I'd drink out of that. So in my opinion, right, we can keep this simple by putting our chart right back side up, so I don't start charting like and end up taking calls. So right here, more than likely, if you go back down to the hourly, you're gonna look for a break of around 250, 250, right? This gap has already been filled, but it's still a gap that could send you back down to the 200-day EMA, which is at 250 on the dot. That is more than likely where you're gonna hit that support. Now go to the 4-hour. We're well within this channel here. Let me fix up my supports and resistances. So you have this channel here, guys, that we've been trading in for quite some time. A massive rejection off of that 268 to 270 level for Square, pulling back all the way into the 240s. If that's not bearish, I don't know what is. So I imagine at a minimum, Square is, it's going into earnings, right? So it's already seen from last earnings trading around 192. It has seen a high of over 170. So don't forget that a lot of, and what did we talk about last week? We talked about how retail, how low volume was pumping the market, and how I thought, at least, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, that retail was pushing the market. And what does that give whales an opportunity to do? Just like in crypto, people who make these scam coins, these scam coins go up and they rug pull. So essentially it's the same thing. Retail buys the stock because they see it's going up. They know earnings is coming. Earnings gets everybody excited every single year, and every single year tons of people lose money, and then they can't buy the dip that comes after earnings because it just seems to always dip. But nonetheless, with Square, let's pull this back down. I think that if we can hold the channel, maybe you get another bounce. It's gonna be tough, but I'm banking on seeing you back down to 247.85 and then ultimately 245 on Square. So and the earnings, of course, August 5th. So that'll have a lot to do with it. If you guys want me, can't see my chart, that's why I have this here. If you want to go type this in the thing, do it with your hands, and I will chart it. Sorry, delusion is picking up. All right, so we got, and one at a time, please, because I want to make sure that I get everybody. So GRVI. Now, why did I take this trade? GRVI had news this morning. Me and Atlas both took this trade. Ended up being able to take profit at the spike. I'm not sure when you guys were able to trade, or if you got my alert around 6:15, 6:50 as I started filling into this trade. He got around 590. This one ran up to 735 twice. after getting halted again up to 741 and then ending up taking profit on that one as well. This one you have to give credit to a scanner, right? Because without it, you can't find it. Because unless you've been watching this stock religiously, it's really hard to find it without some type of high volume scanner. And so I saw that news came in, right? Because I'm always paying attention to news as it comes in. And I saw a multiple price alerts telling me that this one was making multiple new highs really quickly. That lets me know that this is a stock that I could probably get into, right? And at that point, I have to now pre-market. That's where I get that's where shit gets kind of it gets a little scary. But and because a lot of things aren't as liquid as they are during the day, and of course during the day, retail comes in and they can just dump it because right when you open the day. I think here for GRVI, it took a little bit of a minute to actually get back up, and we saw this. In fact, I think I filled at the bell, right? I think I bought here 635 on an average down, and then I signaled another average down at 605, and when we finally wicked up to 741, I filled up really nicely and was able to take profit. Now this one. Right, it's a small cap stock. So whenever I'm playing anything, I always like to find out where my moving averages are that I've been hanging on to, and I like to see where they're at in correlation to my price action. Right. So normally, if something's going to pull back and it's a penny stock, it's gonna pull back and it's gonna fill its gap because look at the gap here on GRVI. GRVI has a gap basically starting at $5 and ending all the way to, it's not a big gap, but it's 461. So if it's going to fall relatively soon or taper down. So these moving averages right here, 538, those right there, is also where we bounced off previously. I would like to see GRVI bounce there and clear its HMA. This HMA is at 595, and then of course I'd like to see the wick fill into the $6 range. What is it going to tell me whether or not this stock goes there? And more than likely, it's going to see a little bit more pullback. It could even pull back and fill its gap once again. It has news. It has a catalyst. But of course, we're going to need to see continuation. Yeah, Nanovibronics is on watch tomorrow. That I just reminded myself again. Because I was in the kitchen earlier and I was like, write that shit down, guy. And I didn't write it down. Bruh, not lowercase a. Chill. Alright. AMD at all-time highs. Yeah, if you guys want to hop right here, I'll take your chart request. Alright, so I am watching that one tomorrow, though, so make sure you set your alerts. Alright, Release, okay, so we've got Rblx, ARK. 10:30. All right, guys, I gotta wrap it up at 10:45 on the dot. If I can't get to your request, join me at 8:45, or actually more than likely, probably around 8:25 a.m., 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I will rechart whatever it is that I missed. But I got to get to bed, or I'll be dead inside tomorrow. I gotta get up at like 4. So, let's see here. So we got Rblx. Okay, so we've been charting Rblx. I love it when I already have shit charted. We called the bounce yesterday, basically seeing the support here. So check that out. Looking like it's building a nice reversal pattern. This is a falling wedge. This is its third bounce off support. So tomorrow the goal is going to be 80.35. 80.35 for Rblx. Above that, finishing the day above 82, 82.50, or even as high as 84 would put Rblx at a broken downtrend. So we would have broken downtrend at that point. don't take that as a absolute, because if Roblox ends up breaking out, it will have a retest, and a lot of times those retests aren't pretty and not just as clean as you'd like them to be. What is our number one indicator here? Volume. Period. End of story. Every single time. And right now Roblox doesn't have a lot of it. So until it gets that volume, and if you guys don't know, you can literally set alerts on volume, so you can find what you're, because if you have a volume scanner or a gap scanner or whatever scanner you have, it may miss out on these larger companies. So one thing that you can do is you can actually set your own volume alerts. You just left click, add alert onto volume, or even add alert to the volume moving average, right? So left click, add alert. Now you can either do volume and you can have the value to exactly what you want it, or you can change the volume to the volume MA. The volume MA is the volume moving average, or basically an estimate of the average volume in a line. So that's what you can do there in order to, and what is best is to go and evaluate that where the highest volume was when it saw the biggest moves. So here on Roblox, 3 million to 9 million is enough to move this stock parabolically, or at least in a manner that is pretty aggressive. So with Roblox, I would imagine that volume is going to be the most key here, and especially when you get to that 8250 level. So set your alerts there. That's the 208 EMA. EK2, I will absolutely look at that, but you're gonna have to send it in there. I will write down every single one of these that I miss, and I will either just start it off immediately tomorrow. But yeah, I just wanna. Sorry, you guys are kind of showing up a little bit late, but I do want to make sure that I get to your tickers. So 8:30 tomorrow morning if I can't get to it. All right, I'm trying to work through these as fast as I can though. Roblox, ARK. All right, ARK. Gotta charm. Oh, whoa, that's not the right one. Are you talking about ARK Innovation? I'm assuming not ARK the Berhad. That's the way. That's definitely not here. That's in a whole ass different country. So I'm assuming you're speaking of ARKK. So you said that they sold skills in Roku today. I wonder if that's a sign of the times for Roku. I mean, after that giant pop on Roku, why not? Alright, looks like it's been struggling here to hold that resistance line. Big bounce today, though. Big bounce back up above that 200-day moving average using the 116 level, 117 level to bounce off of. Decent volume. Not a lot of sellers here. With ARKK. So what I would probably do is you got this lower time frame downtrend here. I would watch this one for a wick fill all the way to 123. Watch 123. It needs to have comparable volume. A 123 push could have you to 124.80. Not much room, but anywhere above that, I think 125 is that psychological number here on my chart. So do I know what FX or HFX is? Are you talking about the ticker, or is the VIX gonna go up or down by the end of the week? I imagine it's gonna go up. I haven't looked at it, but just off of my instincts. I don't know. Hold on. Let me go take a look at it. I don't know. It always looks like shit. Always. You can't chart the VIX. The VIX charts you. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to hop in there. Alright guys, let's keep it moving. ARK, EVFM. Jeez. Alright. This looks like a catalyst based stock. I think here on the 4 hour, it's safe to say that you're in this downtrend. Not quite sure if you can go as far as to say, maybe you can. So looks like it's going to be pretty pivotal that you move above the 50 EMA, which is at $1.50 or a $1.05. So $1.05 right there. And then directly above that, you've got that. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Never mind. Not $1.05. Excuse me. That's the 92 cent level. So 92 cent on EVFM. But let me also say this before I even say anything else. This is clearly a stock that's awaiting some type of news. So I don't know what the hell they do, and I can't pretend like I do. And looking at the chart, this thing doesn't have, like, it has volume. I don't know if it's at splits or what the deal is with this one, but it clearly, looking at the spikes and the drops, it's not looking pretty. But you have earnings coming up, so there is potential people are anticipating something with earnings. So if I knew a little bit more about it, EQT. Yeah, if you guys want me to check something out right here, guys, and if I can't get it to tonight, I'll be live 8:45 tomorrow morning. Every day. All right. Sorry guys, I'm trying to go as fast as I can. All right. Let's see here. Workhorse VA. I'm gonna pick one of those. So if you have a preferred one, Workhorse, APTX, and Lee. I'll do VIAC next. Again, channel here though on EVFM. Watch it above 1 cent or $1, I guess. All right, so let's go to VIAC. I think Georgie likes this one a lot. This one's still hanging out at its new Bill Huang lows. You can see here still holding on to support. It looks like if you zoom in here and you pull this downtrend, pretty easy downtrend here, it does appear to me that you have broken this downtrend, tiny downtrend again, with low volume, and you've gotten a slight retest here. I think the main goal is going to be 42.60. 42.60 and a little bit of a push. Of course, everybody keeps asking me about tickers. I don't mean this insulting, that has earnings. So I can set these levels for all of these charts. I can do all of this stuff, but it could just literally not work because earnings will blow it out of the water or just flip it in total reverse. Imagine trying to, I had UPS charted before earnings, and that's thankfully how I was able to find out where it would bounce. And also how formidable the gap was, because I'm looking to take UPS into a $10 gap, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get there. But nonetheless, on VIAC, just needs more volume. I think one thing that you could also do here is draw this downtrend. So check this out right here. You want to start, you can either start off that low there, or you can just run it right here and ignore these wicks, very, very wicky. And you can kind of observe the downtrends. So anyway, watch for it above that 200-day moving average here on the 4. If you guys right here, any questions or anything like that? APTX VA, if you want to ask me about those tomorrow morning, I'm going to write them down as soon as I close the stream out. I'm going past my time zone, but it's okay. Let's see. APTX, VIAC, Google. All right. So, man, I mean, you're not really gonna like, I mean, just keep it simple. You can just go out to the weekly here, and set levels, because there's no real point in charting. There's not much to chart. It does appear to me, anyway, that this one, I don't know what happened here. It looks like in June of 2018, this one IPO'd or whatever, however it was listed, and it has been trading in range since March 19th. This looks like a company that's likely awaiting news, if I'm not mistaken. Would you say so? What do they do? I think period, end of story, that, you know, like anywhere below here, that where you're at now at 257, you could potentially see 184. You know, if you want to let me know why you're in this, or, you know, what have you, I'm happy to take a look at it from a different perspective, but right now it's just it's simply trading in range. So you have this support that it dropped to, and now it's just trading in this zone here. So until something happens that's cool, it's likely going to stay that way. Swappy, I'm sorry. I just saw that. 10-10, damn, you asked for it. Alright. Just a heads up, guys, next week we're going to be, for the people in the chat's sake, I will not be doing weekly recaps for pretty much after hours. It'll only be in the Discord. I want to make sure that everybody's getting caught up. There's a lot of new members, so we will do pre-market prep and then be off for trading day. Periodically, we'll be open maybe I think for the rest of the week, and then maybe Monday. But that's in effort to make sure that I get to talk to everybody who's in the chat at the moment. And get them caught up and see where they're at and what they're doing. So, if you would like to do a one-on-one with me, you need to hop in the Discord. That is free. So here's the deal. This is for anybody. Okay, I don't care. If you want to hop in the Discord and do the free 7-day trial and hang out in there and get a one-on-one while you're in there, that's totally fine. You don't even have to join. But I can at least help give you a little bit of my insights on where you need to get started, or if you're somewhere where you're already doing something and you're looking for direction there, you know, maybe I can help you out in that sense. So. Anyway, okay, guys. It's getting late here, my guys. Yes, I have gone over Aapl, Google, TAL, Riot, and Snow. All right, I'm gonna close out with those guys. LC, Swappy. By the way, I bought shares in after hours. Of LC. They had good earnings, and if you look at the chart on the day or on the 4 hour, this one is above all-time highs. Not all-time highs. Is in a gap. It's a sick ass gap. I love it. So the gap is here, right here, 23.25, and the gap closes at 27.27. So I'm in with you on Lending Club. I bought that one in after hours pretty much as soon as it popped from earnings. I caught that second wave. So, all right. So, and we're gonna need to see where that one opens up. All right. The link also, by the way, for the Discord is. And the trial and everything is down below, or on Instagram. Okay, so let's see here. I gotta wrap this up, guys. I'm getting tired. Google. So it looks like it's pullback time. So this is a good example of a of a bearish candle. So if you see this here, it actually would have ended up being a dark cloud cover, but it ended up being more than that. So you ended up getting, and today you retested that very same high at 2,800. But big covering right here, big engulfment. More than likely, you're gonna see Google's gap to 266.66. Yeah, 266.66 on Google. So watch for that gap to get filled on Google, and more than likely draw this support, right? So draw this support line here. I could see Google back at 2650. 2650. Yeah, if you guys subscribe there, and I'll get to you. All right, Google is actually a good chart. I'm gonna write that one down. Google. I'm willing to play AMD short tomorrow, guys, knowing how it moves historically. I think it's a pain in the ass, but not mine. Not no more. And if the market pulls back tomorrow, UPS may be a gift out. Google. So those would be a good play for big accounts. Yo, it looks like I have mad tiny legs in the camera. Looks like I'm standing on stilts. Why do I look so big? I look like I'm a clown in a clown room. Oh god, I'm a clown. That camera's perspective's whack. Alright guys, let's see. Alright, TAL, Riot. Riot's gonna move off Bitcoin, so whatever Bitcoin does, it does. TAL, if I'm not mistaken, is a Chinese education group. They are suffering the worst of fates right now with the China FUD. I don't know what else to say, but there is no analysis that I can do except for, you know, major supports psychological numbers. But this is going to continue to at least consolidate at these levels. May get a pop, a retest. But you can see here that this gap alone. Look at, I mean, this is massive. This group. Wow, $91 is what this group is trade is. It is net. What happened? Like, what happened? Straight up. USD listed Chinese companies must disclose government interference risk. That's right. So TAL. Wow. Chinese authorities have cracked down on other U.S. Chinese listed companies. So basically, yeah, this is the same shit. This is, and I can't believe that in May, you've gone from $60 to $2. This is why when people just say buy the dip, nah, there's more than the dip there. Listen, if things turn tide with China and everything clears up, watch for the biggest green candle you ever seen in your life on most of these Chinese stocks. If it just doesn't go well, it's just gonna represent that in the chart, and that's as simple as it gets. China FUD clears, we're green, we're good to go. Baba, Baidu, Didi, if they can not fuck up. So thanks Didi, by the way, fucking Kramer. Hi from Los Angeles. What's up? I remember you from live the other night. What's up? I appreciate your support. There you go. Appreciate you. Okay. 8:45 tomorrow, guys, by the way. 8:45, 8:30 tomorrow morning. I will be trading pennies. If you guys want to trade with me in pre-market, be sure to hop on. All right, Riot and Snow on them off. I gotta skedaddle out of here, and then I'll write down whatever is left, and we'll go from there. All right, Riot from the highs of 78. You have your very first break it down trend. Looks like. So if I'm correct, and I hope I am. So okay, that's gonna be my correct. That's gonna be correct right there. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, so Riot right now, this is a triangle. Hold on one sec, or a diamond. Where's my diamond? Do I have diamonds on here? I don't think I do. Oof, that's not good actually. So just to keep it simple, and this is one of the reasons why I shorted Coinbase. I have made my predictions for Bitcoin rather clear. I think it goes down. Relatively soon. I think at the most you might be able to squeeze 42K. It's so funny, it's the level that people say, but Bitcoin has a rising wedge right now. It doesn't look good to me. I wouldn't buy Bitcoin right now. I still think this is going to fall. I think his gains are real. Oh, thanks, trading with Fur. No, yeah, just for the record, no. If he did what I do, or just like was transparent, no problems, none. Would never said a word. But I have done too many one-on-ones with people, and I know what it's like to be broke. I've done too many one-on-ones with people who have had devastating losses because there's a misconception that you just have to follow somebody and that's it, you're good to go. And the thing is that I've said this before, I have taught a lot of people my version of trading, my style of trading, and they've done one-on-ones with multiple admins in the group, and all of them come out with some type of different strategy that works for them. So as long as you're following somebody else, you have nothing of your own to rely on. You are trading blind, and everything is going to happen in confusion to you. So that means that if one play works, you're going to chase every other play after that, and it doesn't matter if you get burned. And that's the thing, is if you chase one of the plays that gets signaled and you end up green, now you've got a bad example. You do it next time, you're burned. You know what I mean? So like it's just really important to not make this seem like a carnival ride, you know, because if it was that way, then this shit would have been popping off way back. Yeah, 8:45 Eastern time. So sorry, I'm answering questions on multiple platforms. All right, so Riot, you got my my thoughts on this one. We have a rising wedge on Bitcoin, and on Riot we have a double top. So that's pretty bearish. It's got the 200-day EMA tomorrow. I would suspect around $32, the break of 32, that you could play this one short to $31. $31 is the first level that I see there. Wait for a little bit of a bounce. If you get that bounce on Riot, it's got the rest of its gap to fill, a gap all the way to 28.29. So that's my thoughts on it. Riot needs to clear its previous high, no matter what. But you got that double top today. So what happened today is you gapped up, right, and you filled your gap. Now look where the candle ends. So it's going to be a question of whether we gap and go, right? So we bounce here and head out. Now, one thing to keep in mind as well is that if you start off this low, and you can just start off here, you can see a little bit of support. So you do have a bit of an ascending triangle here. But like I said, you have a gap below you, and you also have Bitcoin, the reliance on Bitcoin to continue to the upside. Let me get on my PC. Oh, you're good, brother. I have a lot of one-on-ones tomorrow, guys. Also, yeah, after tomorrow, that's one of the reasons why we got to go ahead and ixnay on the Discord, new Discord members after tomorrow, guys, because I don't want to. It's not about people. It's about making sure that I get to meet with everybody, and I have not. I know there's a couple people who we're playing phone tag right now, and I don't like that. So, in order for me to feel good about what I'm doing, I want to make sure that everybody gets talked to, at least. So. Okay, so Snowflake. This is what I was hoping Roku would do, but Roku's dumb. I hate it. Stupid. Kicker. Hate it. Okay, so it looks like Snow. I almost said Roku. It looks like Snow has. And now this is a deadpan like wall. Like this literally can't get any stronger. It's the 271 level for Roku or for Snow. This one has climbed into the 275s from its fall from grace. I think if you go to the weekly, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, here on the weekly, you are making a little bit of a cup. And I am anticipating that 287 run. I've been waiting for Snowflake to do exactly that. Now, what you'll notice here on the weekly, this thing is actually revving up. Like, it looks like it kind of wants to go, but it could continue to consolidate. This thing could continue to extend that wedge. So I would just make sure that you are on your toes. Watching this one tomorrow, you're going to want to see a hourly candle open above 271. Above 271, you want a candle to open, not just break. If there's 44 minutes left in an hourly candle and you just break in there, you need to be looking at volume, because if you have low volume, you're going to get waxed. I have done AMD, and that's if you have a request, I think I've been on for like 2 hours, and I've gone over a whole ass of tickers. So you'll see in the comments too which ones get charted. So okay, so anyway, with Snowflake, hopefully we hold this. If we don't, I think that you could probably 262.37, and this setup's going back down to the downside. So, all right, guys, I'm really sorry. Arian, I called you. I called you because I wanted to show you some things with charting. You said I will try to tune in to learn the chart skills, so I had a few minutes and I just figured I'd call you instead of you feeling kind of like lost with it or anything like that. Just give you a few tips, I guess, where to get started. But okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I will be on tomorrow morning, 8:30, 8:45. Hop in the Discord if you want to check out the, and I think if you go on the TikTok, my Discord link is still in there. So if you don't want to go through the website and sign up for the 7-day free trial and just want to hang out in the free part of the chat where the information and stuff is at, go to the TikTok and hit me up there. And yeah, so you should be able to get an alert tomorrow whenever we go on live. But yeah, Arian, I just wanted to make sure you oh, cool, you play water polo? That's sick. Yep. Not a problem, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. This live is hard to look at. Okay. What about Costco? Yeah, look at, hop on here, guys, and I'll chart those a little bit later, but or tomorrow morning. So, all right, guys, thank you. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, Arian, what's up? Sorry, one last question. Yeah, and one of the reasons why I'm not going to be doing this. Yeah, absolutely. You want to know the screener that I use? Sure. There you go. Movers, scanners. Now there's nothing to show here right now. This refreshes every 10 seconds. It sorts by change and percentage every 5 minutes. I have it set to gainers. You can change market cap and everything else. This one's going to show me volume. This is how I identify movers. PT here is a good example. It has 1.1 million compared to the 780,000 that it usually carries. This one right here, Rblx, 35.6 million compared to the 6.8 million. I also like to take a peek here at where this new high of day scanner is coming up, so that way I can see price spikes across the market. Also, I have the news here. I don't usually keep this chat up, but it pops up all the time just to piss me off. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But anyway, the news comes in here, so that way I can get it first, and I can correlate movements between the two. So if I see something pop up on the scanner, I may have missed news here. I type in what the fuck is the news, and then I go and find it. That's how I keep them all together. And obviously, it's a whole different story using the scanner without knowing what to look for, right? So, and what are you looking for? That's up to you. Are you trying to scout pennies? Are you trying to only focus on big caps? What are you doing? So you have to adjust these for you. What the fuck? Oshkosh. Sorry. A pioneer in electrical vehicles for consumer travel made history by first public human-operated eVTOL fixed-wing aircraft demonstration at the Experimental Aircraft Association. See, look at that. Look at that cool shit. We just found out some cool shit about Oshkosh. So next time, never mind, it was in Oshkosh. Next time you go buy your kid overalls, just remember. Yeah, Arian, if you need help in the future, let me know. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you.